Hello students, in my last video I have explained you the chapter A Truly Beautiful Mind. Today let us continue with the same chapter. In the year 1900, Albert Einstein was 21 years of age and he completed his graduation from the university but was unemployed. From 1900 to 1902, Albert Einstein was working as a teaching assistant and gave private lessons also. Finally, in 1902, he got a job in Bern. Bern is a city in Germany. He got the job of a technical officer in a patents office in Bern. Einstein was supposed to check the inventions done by other people and gave them a patent. On the other hand, secretly he was making his own inventions too. Einstein later said the desk on which he worked was the office of theoretical physics because there only he started working on his inventions. In the year 1905, Einstein published his first paper. It was about special theory of relativity. In this publication, it was written that the measurement of time and distance is not absolute. It dependent on something else. According to the theory, if there are two clocks and both are moving, they will not show the same time. One clock will move faster than the other. This theory of relativity gave us this basic formula of physics: E equals to mc square. E stands for energy, m for mass of the object, and c for the speed of the light in a vacuum. Vacuum means where there is no air and the speed of light in vacuum is almost 3 lakh kilometers per second. To put it into simpler words, Einstein said that when you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. On the other hand, when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That's relativity. So a person would feel the timing differently. Though he was solving the complicated problems in physics for the world, his personal life started becoming problematic. He started to fail in his personal life. Albert Einstein wanted to marry Malvia soon after he finished his studies, but his mother, Pauline Einstein, was against it. His mother thought that Malvia, who was 3 years elder to Albert Einstein, was very old for him. Pauline thought that Malvia was very intelligent to be a wife, and she told Einstein that Malvia was also like a book and was similar to him. As his mother was against this marriage, he cancelled his wedding with Malvia. Albert Einstein and Malvia finally married in the year 1903 and they had 2 sons. But a few years later, their marriage faltered. Faltered means weak. As Malvia's marriage was very intelligent, being a housewife, she could not cope up with her ambitions. She could not fulfill her ambitions, and so she started becoming unhappy. Malvia was unhappy from this marriage. She could not fulfill her career dreams. So finally, in the year 1919, after prolonged fighting, both of them separated. Albert Einstein married the second time. He married his cousin Elsa. At the time Einstein married Elsa, another thing coincided. It was Einstein race to world fame. Einstein became world famous. Everyone acknowledged him as a great scientist. In the year 1915, he had published his journal Theory of Relativity, which provided a new interpretation of gravity. In the year 1919, there was a solar eclipse which proved that Albert Einstein's journal Theory of Relativity was correct. Albert Einstein had calculated in the year 1915 that in the year 1919, there would be a solar eclipse. Due to it, the apparent position of the stars would change to some extent. His calculation was accurate, so it was announced that Albert Einstein's work was a scientific revolution. Einstein was awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics in the year 1921. He was showered with honors and invitations from all over the world and lauded by the press. Lauded means praise. In 1933, when Germany came under the power of Nazis, at that time Einstein left Germany and shifted to United States of America forever. After 5 years, the Germans discovered the process of nuclear fission, the process through which nuclear bombs or atomic bombs are made. This process was prepared in Berlin. Due to this, all the physicists in America were upset, as they feared misuse of the technology. There were many scientists who escaped to America because of fascism. Fascism was a dictatorial concept which was started in Europe from Italy by the rule of Bantio. All the scientists were afraid that the Nazis could misuse the atomic bomb. Albert Einstein was requested by a colleague, and so he wrote a letter to the President of America, Franklin D. Roosevelt, on 2nd August 1939. He warned him that the atomic bomb which was developed by Germany was very powerful. If one of these bombs exploded on any port, it would not only destroy the area, but also it would destroy the surrounding territory. This shows Einstein's humanitarian quality. He wanted good for the people. He wanted peace in the world. That is why he wrote his concern to the President of America and warned him. Albert Einstein's letter had an impact on Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Americans developed the atomic bomb secretly and dropped it on the two cities of Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Germans had just developed the atomic bomb. They did not use it on any country, but America did. Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of the destruction. He wrote an official letter to the United Nations organization. Albert Einstein proposed to form a world government, but this letter did not bear any fruit. For another 10 years, Albert Einstein was involved in world peace. He was involved in politics, and his agenda was to stop the countries involved in collecting arms and developing weapons. He campaigned for world peace and democracy. His main agenda was world peace and freedom of people. Einstein could foresee the future. When he died in 1955 at the age of 76, the world celebrated him as a visionary. He was a world citizen and a scientific genius too. So I hope students you would have understood the chapter. Thank you.